There's a scene in The Beach where Leo DiCaprio, trying to hit on his French crush, looks up at the sky and talks about a parallel universe out there. Now, Leo did strike out, at least at the time, but his phrase stuck with me, and it's the way I've been thinking about the ultra-luxury residential market over the past couple years. It's a parallel universe. It seems to be floating, happily detached from reality, nearly immune to macro forces and the trials and tribulations of the regular old luxury market. It's truly global, it's completely independent of comps, and seems to be thriving as long as billionaires need new toys. So today, let's break it down. Now, the most important thing you need to understand this market is suspension of disbelief. If you try to rationalize it through comps and construction costs and development costs, you're going to lose your head. The appraiser Jonathan Miller, who's been tracking the 50 million plus sales in the US for a long time, calls this market a circus sideshow and describes what's going on less as a price appreciation and more as a repricing. In 2015, for example, which was considered by many the height of the luxury residential market in the US, Miller tracked 14 sales of 50 million or more. In 2021, that number had jumped to 48. And even last year, which was supposed to be the year the resi market came back to earth because of high interest rates, there were 44 sales of 50 million or more. Among the headline grabbers, Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison paid 173 million for the Gemini estate in Florida, right by Palm Beach. Now, the price tag in itself, don't get me wrong, it is a whopper. But what makes this really remarkable is that Ellison paid nearly double what Netscape co-founder Jim Clark, who was the seller, paid just a year ago. So that's not normal. In Manhattan, something similar played out at the new Tower of Power, 220 Central Park South, on Billionaires Row. Blue Pool Capital, which is the family office of Alibaba co-founder Joe Tsai, paid 188 million for a penthouse in the sky that hedge funder Daniel Oak had bought for 95 million. And when Oak had paid that price in 2019, people thought he was crazy. Well, who's laughing now? And if you think it's just Yankee exuberance, think again. Let's hop over for a minute to my hometown of Dubai. Seen as a safe haven for capital in the Middle East and the epitome of the bling bling lifestyle, Dubai's ultra-luxury property market has carved out a place in the stratosphere, driven by global billionaires. In August, Indian tycoon Mukesh Ambani paid 80 million for a villa in Palm Jumeirah. His net worth at the time was about 80 billion, so it's safe to say that that purchase did not break the bank. Ambani was bested just a couple months later by a mystery buyer who paid 82 million for a villa again on Palm Jumeirah. Ambani is not one to take that kind of thing lightly, so a few months later he came back and obliterated the record, paying 163 million for another mansion. Guess where? Palm Jumeirah. There are levels to it, as they say. Dubai's property prices have surged more than 70% in the prime ultra-luxury sector, according to Knight Frank, which was the biggest gain that they saw on their global index. How best to understand what the hell's going on? Maybe instead of thinking of it as a market, which is generally defined by a series of rules and laws, it's best to think of it as a series of one-offs driven by a few factors playing out across the globe. So one could be capital flight. So in the case of the 220 Central Park South apartment, Alibaba's founders might have just wanted to get their money out of China, which has been cracking down on some of its business titans. Think of it this way, overpaying for a box in the sky in Manhattan is better than having your accounts frozen back home. The same goes for a host of ultra-wealthy Eastern European nationals who found refuge in a new playground in Dubai. Another factor is supply and demand. So developers, emboldened by a series of record-breaking prices all across the globe, have really been pushing the envelope in terms of design, finishing, and luxury bells and whistles. Case in point, Todd Michael Glazier, who's a very successful spec home developer in South Florida, is now building a home on Tarpon Island, which is Palm Beach's only private island, and his price tag for that home is 210 million. Build it and they'll come. And the last reason, which is my favorite probably rationale for what the hell is going on, is this. Billionaires gonna billionaire, right? Larry Ellison wants what Larry Ellison wants. Elon Musk wants what he wants, and Mukesh Ambani wants what he wants. That's just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. These are toys that are out there, the very rich want them. That's kind of where we stand on this ultra-luxury parallel universe of a residential market, but we'd love to get your thoughts. Where do you think this market's gonna go in 2023? Is there gonna be any slowdown, or are we gonna see developers push the envelope even further? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to follow The Real Deal for more Paydirt breakdowns.